From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, May 19th. It's not storming right now. The thing is, though, it's really hot and muggy outside in the 70s early here in the morning, and all of that heat, moisture, it's going to build up for another round of storms today. Here's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey with what you need to know.
It's a level 2 out of 5 risk for most of central Indiana, for all of central Indiana, rather, most of Indiana. Damaging wind is going to be the primary threat. We also could have some larger hailstones, all right? Futurecast, let's go hour by hour with our high-resolution model. Again, confirming the morning's pretty quiet here. In fact, we'll get some sunshine. That will help to kind of soak in the rain a little bit. But by the afternoon, anytime after 3 or 4 o'clock, we'll get some blips here and there, and you see some of these storms starting to evolve by around dinner time. Could have some heavy downpours again. I don't think we're going to be talking about the widespread shield of rain like we had yesterday, thankfully. But again, a few downpours here and there, and it won't take much to agitate any flooding issues for the afternoons.
Central Indiana. Wish TV is now live on YouTube TV and Hulu Live, offering more hours of local programming than any other station. Search for Wish TV or look for CW8 on both YouTube TV and Hulu Live to find us. Watch local news, sports, and lifestyle shows live from Wish TV. You can still catch Wish TV free over the air or stream it live on WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile apps. Wish TV, available in more places for the latest news, weather, and sports.
This morning, Alexander Rossi is on the mend after a crash during practice at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. His team says he fully intends to participate in Carb Day practice on Friday, as we are now just 5 days away from the Indy 500. Along with Rossi, the crash involved Pato O'Ward and Romain Grosjean. You can see Rossi spinning and hitting the wall if you see the video of the crash. O'Ward then also spins and hits the side of Rossi's car, and Grosjean spun out while trying to avoid the wreck. Rossi was taken to a hospital here in Indianapolis. Ed Carpenter Racing says he has been released following procedures to repair minor injuries to a finger on his left hand and right ankle. O'Ward and Grosjean were released from the infield care center shortly after that crash yesterday. For the first time in more than 20 years, no Andretti will be racing in this year's Indy 500. Andrew Chernoff has more on how the Andretti team is adjusting now that Marco Andretti is no longer competing in IndyCar.
Andretti Global has a rich history, and the team expects to win every time it hits the track, especially at Indy.
You know the importance when you set foot on the property. So I think that everybody internalizes that pressure a little bit differently, but it's a good pressure. And I think just the desire to perform here is unlike anything I've ever seen.
One thing is certain if Andretti Global wins this year, it will not be with a driver whose last name is Andretti. In fact, this Indy 500 will be the first one since 2005 that has not featured an Andretti in the field.
It's a bit strange for sure. You know, we're very proud to represent the Andretti name, and especially at this place. So we miss Marco for sure. You know, he's a good guy and good driver. But we hopefully can make them proud next weekend.
The reason why there is no Andretti suiting up this year is because Marco Andretti announced his retirement from racing back in October. He raced in the past 20 editions of the 500. Like Marcus Ericsson, Kyle Kirkwood was teammates with Marco the past 2 Mays. He said it's definitely weird having Marco no longer in the garage.
It's very efficient now, not having a fourth driver, but it is a little sad missing Marco, right? He's got a lot of knowledge and he was very helpful to us.
In all the years an Andretti raced in the Indy 500, only Mario Andretti crossed the finish line first, all the way back in 1969. Now, there may not be Marco Andretti on the driver lineup this year, but the team did add someone with plenty of experience in Will Power, who won this race back in 2018.
I can't say enough good things about, Will, what he's brought to the team. Kyle and Marcus, they're all three the consummate teammates. Anybody else in the series would want any one of these three as their teammate.
Another example that even without Marco, the Andretti Global drivers are still meshing well with each other. Andrew Chernoff, Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Don't forget, Wish TV has you covered for the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. We will be live inside and outside the track starting at 5 in the morning on race day. Cody and I are going to be in the pits, so we'll have everything covered for you as it happens. You can hear from drivers, and we'll get you ready to enjoy the race. Check in anytime through noon, Sunday, race day on Wish TV, or you can stream us on wishtv.com. In other news, Indianapolis Animal Care Services says its new shelter is already at 110% capacity just 6 days after opening. And the shelter says if you're looking to adopt, they have plenty of animals that you can take home. They're also asking you to spay and neuter your pets to just help with the situation, and please get them microchipped. The new shelter is on the city's south side at the corner of East Raymond Street and Emerson. The Fisher City Council has voted to expand an e-bike ordinance after police say they received many complaints about dangerous riding. Police say people have been using e-bikes to excessively speed, cut off pedestrians, weave through traffic on trails and sidewalks too. Under the new ordinance, which passed 9-0, e-motorbikes are only allowed on roads and bike lanes. E-bikes are still allowed on the trails. Children 15 years and younger are banned from riding e-motorbikes altogether, and e-bikes that can reach speeds up to 28 miles per hour.
We're not in a rush to go out and cite people who are misusing. We'll do an education period. We'll partner with the city. We'll send out messages, and then we'll let everybody know. We're not going to go out and start hard enforcing this immediately, but you can expect it here over the next few weeks or so.
Riders and parents of kids using e-bikes can be fined $150 for violating the rules. The mayor of Fishers is expected to sign the ordinance, and it will go into effect this summer. Eastern Star Church has officially bought the former site of Martin University. The church says it's part of a new initiative. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin talked with church leaders about the sale.
The ROCK Initiative is a long-term effort that's focused on making communities stronger through education, financial security, affordable housing, and strengthening the sense of community.
This is a community project. This center will be defined as the ROCK Impact Center, and we plan to have impact in community.
The church officially closed on the Martin property May 8th. The church has had possession of the building for a week. It was listed for $3.5 million.
There's at least 28 parcels, and within those parcels, we'll do some of the same development for the community here that we've done in Arlington Woods, affordable housing, and other services we'll provide here in this community. We'll also, hopefully in the next 90 days, our goal prayerfully is to have a community open house where we're connecting with the other major community providers in this community.
As Murdoch sees it, one priority is to honor Martin University's legacy and the impact it's had on the city.
I also would like to say that we are continuing to pray for the advancement of Martin University. The work that they've done, that they are doing in the community, we thank God for all that they have done.
While plans for the property are still being finalized, changes to the former campus will start soon. Murdoch says he hopes to start construction on some of the affordable housing facilities by the end of the year.
We're so excited to have the opportunity to come in and to preserve. I think this asset is a major asset in the African American community, and so we wanted to maintain this asset in our community.
In Indianapolis, I'm Malia Van Ostrand for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Wish TV is your education station. Purdue University is on the hunt for a new leader. The Purdue Board of Trustees says President Mung Chiang is leaving to take a job at Northwestern University. Chiang has led Purdue since 2023. He will begin his new role July 1st. University's board says it will name the interim president in the coming weeks. The search for a permanent replacement will begin after that. In your vote 2026, Knightstown may have to rerun 2 municipal primary elections. Henry County officials say some people that were not supposed to vote in those elections may have voted due to a software error. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist breaks down what happened.
On paper, Carla Gorman won the race for clerk treasurer by 3 votes. But on election day, she tells me she began to hear from out-of-town voters who said she was on their ballot.
That's wrong. This is not right. Something's wrong.
Knightstown held 2 municipal primaries alongside county races. One was for clerk treasurer, and the other was for 2 at-large town council seats. In a court complaint filed Wednesday, 2 candidates, including Gorman's opponent, Joe Whitesett, said they believe there was a programming error in the way ballots were mapped for 3 precincts.
I want the town residents to feel like they have confidence in our elections and that they are conducted fairly, being transparent with our residents.
Peyton and Whitesett say there's no way to split out which ballots were cast by people who were not eligible to vote in the election. So they want the court to order a new election.
You go through all the trouble to go to vote and get ready and campaign and do these things, and then you find out that you won. I was told I won, and then you find out, well, you didn't win. You did win, but you didn't win.
Gorman says from what she's been told, redoing the election probably is the only thing to do. Peyton says she's not worried.
I believe it'll give me a chance to be able to put myself more out there and get more votes or have more people ask me questions so I can do a better job while I'm in office.
A hearing is set for June 24th. Any potential new election would have to come later. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Sticking with your vote, today at noon is the deadline for candidates to file for a recount. It comes as Trump-backed challenger to an incumbent senator asked for a recount yesterday. So Senator Spencer Derry voted against redistricting last year and had a razor-thin margin against Paula Copenhaver. That margin was at least 2 votes. In a statement yesterday, Copenhaver claims that her team found evidence of illegal voting, but they did not provide any of the evidence. Deary has not publicly responded to those claims yet. He has not done that yet. Recounts of the results, though, could last into July. 49 Indiana counties are considered legal deserts. That's when a county has less than 1 lawyer for every 1,000 residents. I-Team's Kara Kenny is digging into solutions and what one mayor is doing about it.
More than 200 students graduated this weekend from IU McKinney School of Law, one of only a handful of brick-and-mortar law schools in our state. For years, we've been covering our state's attorney shortage, which impacts everything from businesses to our criminal justice system. Bicknell is home to 3,000 people in Knox County, one of many communities with 0 attorneys. Thomas Estabrook is the mayor.
So the demand is there, the need is there.
No attorneys means people have to drive to other towns to get legal help.
There's needs in rural areas just like there are in the big city.
Estabrook wants to be part of the solution. On May 17th, he graduated from IU McKinney School of Law.
Thomas Lee Estabrook.
He spent 4 years driving the 4-hour round-trip commute.
So I'm looking forward to being, kind of being back in it and just not having to drive to Indianapolis all the time.
The Indiana State Bar Association is also working on solutions. They're launching the Rural Practice Academy this summer, which will help attorneys open their own offices in legal deserts.
And what's your ultimate goal with this program?
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to put more bodies in places that are needed. Simply put, we don't think that this program is can be the only solution. It can't be. It's such a huge problem.
The Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council released this video to high schools, colleges, and law schools, hoping to inspire students to work in the criminal justice system.
And she pounded on the witness stand.
Another solution in the works? Creating pathways for online law schools and its graduates. Thomas Estabrook took a lot of courses online, which cut down on the drive time.
I think that traditional students are probably fewer than they used to be.
Estabrook will now start studying for the bar exam. He hopes to offer legal expertise to Bicknell on a variety of topics, including property, wills, and trusts. The mayor says people often don't realize they need an attorney until it's too late.
Is that by the time you get on the phone and talk to an attorney, well, I can talk to you next week. No, I need to talk to you today. And sometimes people don't like that answer, but that's where it is.
State lawmakers have tried for years to get something passed, but have been largely unsuccessful. One bill created a scholarship fund to help prosecutors and public defenders with student loan debt, but that fund is still unfunded. Kara Kenny, I-Team.
Your statewide news network covers Fort Wayne, where police say no one is under arrest after an elderly woman involved in a fight at a Tim Hortons died. Police say they were called for an altercation involving battery on Wednesday morning. Officers say the woman was unresponsive when they arrived and they could not get her statement. She was taken to a hospital but later died. The coroner has yet to identify the victim. At least 3 people are dead after a shooting at an Islamic center in San Diego. Police say 2 teenage suspects were also found dead. Investigators say one suspect left a note and a weapon recovered had hate speech written on it. Sherelle Hubbard has more details.
Scores of police cars responded to the Islamic Center of San Diego Monday following reports of an active shooter.
We have 3 confirmed adults that are deceased at the Islamic Center.
Police say a security guard was among those killed at the mosque. Authorities are still trying to determine the details surrounding the shooting, but police believe that 2 people found dead in a car nearby from apparent self-inflicted gunshot wounds were the suspects. Chief Scott Wall provided additional information about the mother who alerted them about her son.
She believed her son was suicidal, and she began to share information that several of her weapons were missing, her vehicle was missing, in addition to her son.
Police say they're considering the shooting a hate crime. The Islamic Center in San Diego is the largest mosque in San Diego County, according to its website. The site includes a school.
Look, as they're bringing people out of the building.
And police say no children were hurt.
I tell you what got me. Watching the kids come running out. Just thankful to be alive.
I could hear the officers shouting to evacuate in the background, and it was, paralyzing and so frightening. And at the same time, I had to drop everything and come directly to make sure, our community is safe and they're okay, and they know that they're not alone in this really insane time.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The cruise ship hit by the deadly hantavirus outbreak has arrived at a Dutch port for disinfection. The ship was still carrying 25 crew members and 2 medical personnel. Dutch officials have been preparing quarantine facilities for those people. The ship will be decontaminated based on Dutch public health guidelines. Health officials say no one on board has shown any symptoms of the virus. Global health authorities are continuing to monitor and contact trace the people who already disembarked from the ship. Okay, back here in Indiana to the Indy 500, Rob Gronkowski is headed back to the Snake Pit this year for the race. The former NFL star will serve as the Grand Marshal for the Snake Pit on race day. Gronk was the same role last year, and he says he's excited to return because it's a unique mix of sports and music. Of course, at the 500, this year's Snake Pit will feature major electronic artists, including headliner Zedd. The Indiana National Guard is helping to make sure this year's Indy 500 flyovers are perfectly timed down to the second. Soldiers are working with aviation partners to coordinate 5 military flyovers tied to race activities. That includes the iconic pre-race aerial display over the speedway. Officials say crews have a 3-second window to sync up with the live television broadcast. They say months of planning and real-time communication help make the tradition run smoothly. It is impressive, but yeah, sounds very difficult. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.